And let's say strategy. I want to take you through what you were learning or studying this week, maybe for just 20 minutes. After taking you through the stuff that you had played or read about this week, then I give you new stuff this past week, then I give you new stuff for this week. You remember the focus of past week's discussion was on strategy. Strategy. It's a very, very, very important concept when you are studying a strategic business leader, as the name suggests, strategic business leader. So a strategic business leader is the one who must be in a position to strategize. No wonder why we do have that. Let me just give you the snippet of what we have been studying this week. Remember, our section was on strategy. Oh, allow me to share my screen. Sorry. Let me share my screen so that you'll be seeing what I'm putting on the screen. Remember, we were discussing strategy. Strategy. A very, very important concept in our strategic business leader is a subject, knowledge of strategy. I'm sure you played a variety of videos and you read lecture notes. So I'm going to summarize what you really, the main takeoffs that you need to commit to memory. You now understand that what is a business strategy. So a business strategy is basically, it involves quite a lot of things. It involves charting long-term direction and scope of the entity, long-term direction and scope of the entity. When you are strategizing, these are some of the things you're actually doing. You are charting the long-term direction and scope of the entity. So you as a strategic business leader, you need to have a mission statement, a vision statement, and you also need to have your values or your ethical stance. Without these, you can't necessarily say you have a long-term direction and scope. You understand from the videos you've played that a mission is merely a means to an end, meaning a mission is a statement which outlines the purpose of the organization's existence. So you can see that this is the mission of the organization by having what we call the critical success factors. In other words, what is it that we intend to do? And these critical success factors are measured using key performance indicators. So you as a strategic business leader, you need to have what we refer to as performance metrics. You need to have in place performance dashboard to see if you are on track towards achievement of your vision. So a vision is the best case position it is actually the best case position for the organization after successfully working out its mission. That's the vision. So you have that. And you also read that strategy is meant to achieve competitive advantage. A strategy is meant to achieve competitive advantage. You can't necessarily say you are strategizing if that is not going to translate into customer benefit, meaning it should translate into customer value and organizational effectiveness in the long term. Customer value creation, and organizational effectiveness, and strategic capability. Let me put this word: strategic capability, meaning ability to excel in the long term. You can't say you are strategizing if whatever you're doing, you are casting a blind eye on its impact on your position in the market and its impact on customers. You know, this is the focus. This is like the backbone of this particular chapter that we have been doing this past week. You also mean that strategies are executed in a changing environment. In a changing environment. You understood this, guys? When you are doing a strategy, or you are implementing a strategy or formulating a strategy, you don't do this in a vacuum. These strategies are executed in a changing environment, and your ability to respond and anticipate these environmental changes to a large extent determines the success of that particular strategy or strengthening of the strategic position of the entity. So on this one, you'd notice there are various models for you to understand environmental variables facing the firm and the firm's ability to respond and anticipate to such such changes, like agile, the firm being agile to react or to act quickly in light of these changing environmental factors. So we have got PESTEL framework: political, economic, social, cultural, technological, environmental, and legal. And remember, we do have also, this is PESTEL is for the macro. This is for macro environmental analysis, meaning external environment facing the firm. You use PESTEL if you want to understand external environment facing the firm. And if the question then says market environment, market or industry environment, market or industry environment, what you, under the circumstances, you use Porter's 5 forces model. Porter's 5 forces model. And please, if you haven't played the videos that I sent last week, just go about this. I did send you videos, remember? Let me open our WhatsApp group so that we will be on the same page. We'll be on the same page. Rabia, have you managed to join the lecture? Let me check. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Allow me to open. I just want you to, because this should not sound like the new stuff. I'm just going through what you must have covered by this week. Whilst the WhatsApp group is opening, let me proceed. So I said, if the examiner says, analyze the market environment or industry environment that the firm is facing, you undertake that using Porter's 5 forces model. Porter's 5 forces model. So allow me to open the WhatsApp group. You learned quite a lot, so I'm just going to take stock of what you covered this past week, and make sure you agree with me, your tutor, that indeed you have covered that particular stuff. If you haven't, you still have a lot to do on you can still revisit the notes and play and catch up. So this is really what I'm talking about. All right. And click, you would notice you were told to click supplemental videos, meaning the videos that I have sent, like here. This video covers environmental analysis. It's obtainable on my YouTube channel. So when I'm saying Porter's 5 forces, PESTEL analysis, etc., please make sure you get a thorough explanations on this particular video. When I say strategic position, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So everything that I'm going to, a snippet of what you covered is exactly covered in these videos. Just go to your SES YouTube channel. It's colon is double L. And once there, if you play only one video, you'll be taken through to all other videos. So it's fine. So let me proceed. This is what you must have covered as you join this particular lecture, that a strategy is executed in a changing environment. And by changing environment, we are saying you need to understand the environment that we are talking about. Now, there is actually national or, national competitiveness. National competitiveness. And you now understand that when we are saying national competitiveness, we are saying attractiveness of a nation as an investment destination. Attractiveness of a nation. So if you are evaluating whether a nation is attractive for you to invest, you use what we call Porter's diamond model. You analyze this environment with diamond model. Make sure you now understand this after having played the videos. National attractiveness, or the attractiveness of a nation as an investment destination. The detailed videos for this are the videos I've been showing you just now. So you have everything with you there. Then you remember, this is what you covered. You covered that a strategy, we are charting long-term direction and the scope of the entity. And you also covered that what we strategize to achieve competitive advantage in a changing environment. And we also ensure that it involves reconfiguring resources. It involves reconfiguring resources. Reconfiguring resources. What does that mean? It means you need to understand your competencies. You need to understand your competencies. Your competencies. We call this RBV, resource-based view. What are your key competencies? And this may include quite a lot. You can identify your competencies and your weaknesses by carrying out SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis. You can, if you carry out SWOT analysis, you get to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities you are facing, and the threats that you are exposed to, and make timely strategic actions there. So SWOT analysis is again a tool that helps you to boost your strategic position. It's an environmental analysis, because SWOT analysis, you are analyzing the environment, both internal, like strengths and weaknesses, and also external, like opportunities and threats. So if you are undertaking SWOT analysis, you are actually even incorporating PESTEL analysis, because when you are looking on opportunities and threats, they arise from changes in PESTEL factors, like changes in political, economic, social, cultural, technological. As these are changing, they expose the firm to opportunities and also to threats. Are you not seeing that? You can't tell me or say that you understand what strategy is unless you know all these. Clearly, if there's an area you are lacking, don't worry, you'll say yes, you covered. As you say, I always have you covered. All these are the videos that I've populated for you, and we have videos on the platform. That is the primary the primary model of delivering these courses. Okay, so a strategy, you also realize that strategy involves also meeting stakeholder expectations. You can't say you are strategizing if you are casting a blind eye on stakeholders. You need to make sure that you meet stakeholder expectations. And we have got various stakeholder expectations, or various stakeholders: the employees, shareholders, government, community, customers, suppliers. Depending on the context of the question, there are a lot of stakeholders. So you need to characterize the stakeholders and develop engagement mechanisms with those particular stakeholders. And an appropriate framework to achieve that is the Mendeley matrix. Mendeley matrix. Make sure you understand this. Mendeley matrix. Some put it loosely as stakeholder map. Stakeholder map. Make sure you understand Mendeley matrix or stakeholder map. It's an appropriate framework that we use to better understand stakeholders. So already I have populated a video for you here from last week. If you don't have it, please make sure you understand this. Make sure you understand this, because you need not then to proceed lacking on this particular wonderful information included in these videos. All right. I have been covered all these 5 items. You can now tell me and say, I now understand what, when I'm strategizing, I now know what I'm doing. Don't confuse the strategies with plans. Strategy involves planning. When you are strategizing, it involves planning, but strategy does not only, its scope doesn't just cover planning. A strategy is a broad term. It's a broad term, and when you don't cover all these tentacles of the word strategy, no wonder why companies do strategize, but these strategies may end up failing, partly because they didn't take into account their competencies, their resources. You are just strategizing without clue on what are your strengths, weaknesses, and stuff, so that you cannot deploy these strategies well. Another is perhaps you are casting a blind eye on the environment. You are strategizing, but you don't even know the environment you are operating in, so that the environment is taking pace ahead of you coming up with appropriate strategies. You are not agile enough. You are not able to think and react quickly to these environmental changes. Another is perhaps you are strategizing, but you are ignoring customers. Remember, strategy is meant to achieve competitive advantage, absence of which I don't know what you are doing. Another is perhaps you are strategizing, but you don't know who are your key stakeholders. And you are crafting good strategies, but you are neglecting the powerful and most interested stakeholders. So you need to characterize your stakeholders, using their relative level of influence or interest and the power that they yield on your strategies, so that you engage them appropriately. There's no one size fits all when you're engaging with the stakeholders. The Mendeley matrix or stakeholder map teaches you how to proceed in achieving the same. Okay, so I'm sure you have covered this. And another item that by now you have covered is the item of strategic choices. Strategic choices. A strategy, it covers what we have just discussed. But what is a strategic choice? A strategic choice now is the actual course of action that you take to boost your strategic position in the long term. These are like courses of action. But as the name suggests, they are not short term, because strategic doesn't mean necessarily a short term. These are like long term breakthrough. You intend to achieve breakthroughs, and what you do now matters. These are strategic choices, and I'm sure by now we have covered this. And we do, the first part of, there are various areas where we can come up with the strategic choices. The chief amongst them is like competitive strategies. You need to know how you compete. Competitive strategies. You need to know how you compete in a market. These strategies are so important, like low-cost leadership, differentiation, low-cost leadership, no frills. No frills. Here in this part of the world, we call it mshika shika, where you charge a low price but without necessarily much added benefits to customers. We've got no frills. We've got product differentiation. These are courses of actions that a firm can take. Product differentiation. We do have, apart from product differentiation, we have got focus. You can combine any of these. And we call these hybrids. You may combine low cost and focus. You may combine differentiation and focus, etc. These are courses of actions which the firm should take in order to compete. effectively. What it covers all like competitive strategies. These are, we call these generic strategies. The one which works well, if you want to know which one works well, the bottom line is we compete to win customers. So it's about how customers perceive quality of what we are offering vis-a-vis the price we are charging. Quality against price then determines which of these strategies is going to win as perceived by customers. Not as perceived by the firm, as perceived by customers. We call that positioning. How your product is positioned in customers' mind matters before you deploy any of these strategies. Then these are choices that you can make. You can make choices on products, meaning you can have what we call product strategies. Because if you don't make choices on products, chances are you expose yourself to the risk of running, of having dry season. There's what we call dry seasons, right? A dry season where others are actually, excelling, but you as a firm are saying, oh, our demand is down nowadays, oh, things are not good for us, our business is seasonal, etc. All these noble explanations as they may, but if you trace them to their core, it may boil down to you not taking timeous decisions concerning your products that you offer. You don't have what we call a balanced product portfolio. You are waiting for a product for its cycle to end before you can think of another product. That such is not a characteristic of a strategic business leader. So I'm sure by now you have now played product lifecycle analysis. You now understand lifecycle, so that you need not to wait until the product is harvested from the market, then you think of introducing a new one. You need to have a balanced product portfolio. If this doesn't work, it's offset by this BCG matrix. If you are having two or more products, don't just run them as it may. You need to ensure that you are monitoring performance of these portfolios and take timeous decision, or timeous choice or course of action. For example, BCG matrix, we now, after playing the videos, you realize that certain products are called cash cows, meaning they are now on the market is now saturated, but the product, however, or the business unit, however, is bringing in as much cash as possible, though there is no prospect for growth in that market, but it is stable and there's a lot of cash coming. So you need to hold that position, the product is positioned in the market, by playing around with marketing mix. Then certain products are called stars. Stars being products with a high market share, and also products in a high growth market. We call these stars. If you realize that my product is a star, you need to build that product in that market by playing around with competitive strategies or manipulating the marketing mix. We taught you all these in this past week. And then there's another which we call Ashridge model. Ashridge model, which looks at this model. It's like parental matrix. It's what it does is it argues that the head office should periodically assess the performance of its business units and consider well in time whether to continue supporting the business unit financially or otherwise, or to withhold that support. That's Ashridge model. So it's like similar to BCG but slightly different. BCG evaluates a business unit on the basis of market share and market growth, but Ashridge model evaluates business units on the basis of how the support being given from the parent is being well utilized. In other words, is it synchronizing with that business unit's critical success factors? And then, is it of strategic benefit to the parent or to the group of continuing parental support to that business unit? And you realize that under Ashridge classification, business units can now be classified as Heartland business units, ballast business units, value trap, alien businesses like, alien businesses or wild cats, such businesses like similar to dogs, where we were busy pumping such business unit with parental support, but we are not getting much from that particular business unit. And these are like product strategies. You may say, it appears you're explaining it well. Where can I get further on this? I gave you this already. These are the videos which will fed to a supplemental videos. Make sure you play this. BCG matrix, here it is. Ashridge model, here it is. Make sure you come back to these videos and play them after you've done all the platform videos. The platform videos are very short. They are just about an hour or so. And I told you, you can't say I have learned strategies after just playing videos for an hour. What you then have to do is to come to these supplemental videos. These are in excess of 11 hours. Remember, I told you these videos are in excess of 11 hours. Make sure you play one video. I said you should have played one video per day, and I trust you followed the instructions. Can you imagine if you haven't done this? Would you then be in a position to understand what I'm saying? So make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. I know you are wonderful students and you are obedient students. Even government can also do this. The projects which government does can also be evaluated. We call this public sector portfolio analysis. Public sector portfolio analysis, it is used by government or public sector when it is evaluating its projects. Quite cool. Like it uses like the political support for the project and its ability to serve effectively. In other words, is this particular project being done by government contributing to the welfare of the populace? And are politicians or is there political support for it? Here in Zimbabwe, we do have those like, Command Agriculture. It has got high political support and it has got high ability to serve. But there are certain products which, so those we call them public sector stars. But there are certain government projects which are into wasting of resources, like national youth training. Those ones are like, we call these backdrawer issues. And if government continues to offer to pump money to such, they become what we call political hot boxes. So you play these videos and you understand this more, and I'm sure you have done that. For those who haven't, this serves to emphasize. I'm about to wrap it up. Then I also appreciate that concerning strategic choices, you also play the video on growth strategies. And principally, you realized that nowadays businesses cannot just grow internally. If you want to grow alone, you don't get far. Nowadays, you don't get far. So growth strategies, you now realize that businesses can grow internally. We call this organic. Internally / organic. Or businesses can grow externally or externally inorganic. Externally inorganic. So this one was the concepts covered in this particular space under your strategic choices. You do notice the concepts covered therein were concepts that you can relate. How can a business grow organically? Suppose you want to grow internally. How can you achieve that? You open new branches. I have a branch in Harare, you have another in Blawa, if you are doing it alone like that, that's internal growth. But they've got limitations because it may take time, it may be expensive for you to grow internally. But however, the beauty of growing internally that is because you are growing by harnessing your key competencies. You get that? You are harnessing your key competencies. In other words, you are using your developed strengths, your developed resources to grow. External growth, on the other hand, it's like you want to accelerate your growth. Like as Artlands Resources, you realize that we have partnered with First Intuition. We are now offering you students platinum content, award-winning platinum content on the learning management platform, and I'm sure you're having a lot of fun. That was an external growth strategy. We call this an alliance or partnership. You can grow externally by acquisition. You know, acquisition is when you acquire, you buy a controlling interest of another company. That's acquisition. Or merger. You know, a merger is like when we combine companies and come up with a new company altogether. That's a merger. Whichever way, there are various pros and cons for acquisitions. You know, acquisition is a faster mechanism of growth. You spread the risk. You can have synergies, you know. You can now have two or more, a wider range of products under one name because you've acquired another company. And also, you can actually acquire to reduce competition, etc. But as you might have noticed when you were playing the videos, you realize that acquisitions may also result in synergies not materializing, and also acquisition target being overvalued, meaning if you fail to undertake due diligence, you may not get value that you were anticipating. And you know, the stakeholders involved may actually mount a serious resistance to proposed acquisitions. So for more information on that, this is the video, Internal Growth, Mergers and Acquisitions. So you have this video here with you. I'm sure you have played that. What are the factors we consider when we are selecting a target for potential acquisition? In other words, you know, acquiring a company is like you want to marry somebody. You don't just fall in love. You enter into love with your eyes open. And this is so important. Otherwise, you then cry foul later. So there is need to ensure that there's effective and robust evaluation of the acquisition target. And we have explained all these in lecture notes and all these in these supplemental videos. And I'm sure you've covered that part. Okay. Then another is value creation strategies, which was point number 4. This is what I said you should do. Value creation strategies. Value creation strategies. Now, value creation strategies, you know, this, as the name suggests, it recognizes that you as a business, we say we are excelling, not because we are excelling per se. We say we are excelling, you know, there's a positive correlation between our excellence and the value we are creating to customers. The competitive excellence or strategic capability, our ability to excel in the long term, is positively correlated with the value we are creating for customers. No wonder why we call this money is a measure of value. If you don't see value from Artlands Resources, you can't pay school fees. It's as simple as that. So businesses should do the same, should be anchored on that particular plane of thinking. Don't expect businesses to just miraculously develop when there is no input into customer value creation. This is so important. So some of the strategic choices should be meant to create value. Actually, the importance of this should not be overemphasized. Because you know that by definition, we say money is a measure of value. Money is a measure of value. What does that mean? It means to stop chasing money but focus on value we are creating to customers. If you begin to chase money, it will develop wings and fly away because you are chasing the result, not the cause. Money is a measure of value. It means money is the result of creating value. So if you want your businesses to excel, don't focus on money, focus on the creation of value. Because wherever value is, automatically money is there. There's no value where there's no money. So you need not to focus on money, but rather focus on value creation. In so doing, your performance excellence becomes sustainable. Okay. So value creation strategies, remember I gave you the videos on value creation strategies, and they are equally populated on the platform. We do have Porter's value chain analysis. Porter's value chain analysis. We do have issues, others like benchmarking. These are like traditional housekeeping issues. You can create value by benchmarking. There are various ways you can create value: business process re-engineering, or as you shall notice when we are teaching you other subjects, you can create value by but implementing what is called value-based management. But for now, let us really restrict our analysis to these. After getting up to this, can you confirm in the chat feature here down here how many have played the videos to the extent of what I've said so far? Because these are the videos I just wanted. This is the video on value creation strategies that I'm talking about. Where is it? Where is value creation strategies? Value creation strategies. Okay, here. Strategic alliances, Porter's value chain. So here you have the value creation strategies in this particular video. So my question is, how many have played the videos for last week to the extent of what we have done so far? Can you just say I've done that, say in the chat? I will check the chat later. But please, if you haven't, are you not seeing that you are not on the same wavelength with your say? So as you are playing this, as we proceed, make sure you quickly catch up. We are now left with the month of October to wrap up the syllabus so that we revise for the whole month of November. So everyone should have covered this up to what we have done. Taku, have you covered this up to what we have done? You can unmute and talk to yourself.
Hello, I'm saying I'm still lagging behind, but I'm sure by the end of this week I'll be done with that one.
Judging by the presentation I've given, are you not seeing that this robustly prepares you for the next topic?
Yeah, I can notice that one. I think I was having a challenge with network this side, but I'm sure I am downloading the notes from the portal and then I just read them when I get home. I just download the notes when I'm at work and then I read them when I get home.
All right, I understand.
So you find out that it's there. All right.
Right, I understand, and we call this the new normal. This is the new normal. It's not that these are the challenges that we face when you are learning online. So, but you can see that is Artlands Resources. We have made everything in our power to avail information to you as a student. No wonder why yes. We gave you the notes, we gave you the platform videos, which are like an hour. For an hour, we have made them short so that we minimize the risk of you disengaging. But you'd then notice we go an extra mile in giving you these supplementary videos. And these ones are now in excess of 11 hours. So you can download the video and play it in your car. You know that? You can, whilst you are driving, you can play the video in your car. It's still perfect that way. How do you download a YouTube video? Perhaps I need to teach you how to do that. Here is how you download a YouTube video. You come to your web browser, like this case is Chrome. I come to my Chrome here. I click YouTube video downloader. YouTube, I'm on the search bar. I type YouTube video. Notice YouTube video download online here. Make sure there is online. YouTube video download online. This online should be there. So there it populates various links which I can use. But I can now choose any of my choice. Like I've just clicked the first one. All I have to do, if I come to my YouTube video, like this is the YouTube video which is on this, I copy the link address like this. I come to the web, it's saying paste the link here. So it's a matter of pasting the link like this. Once I paste the link, I can now, it's saying convert, download in MP3, MP4, whatever. It's perfect that way. I just follow the, so it is converted to MP4. Once it is converted to MP4, what else is it saying? It's now ready for me to download. So I can now say, okay, click here. It's downloaded, it's converted. I can now say download. Of course, there is an antivirus here. If it fails to download, perhaps there's an antivirus which may block certain items here. But if you deactivate your antivirus, you click download. Notice I have clicked download, but it's saying potentially unwanted content. I can say ignore and continue. Ignore and continue. So notice it's saying quite a lot of things. What causes this now? This is the unwanted content. So I can just close like what I've done. I'm now back to this. You know, these are some of the malware that just populates itself. Now I come here and say it's uploading because it's also streaming on it's also streaming on Skype. It's taking long to populate the video here. But if I wasn't streaming anything, it would be very quick. It will take very. Now I'm not going to proceed with this because it may. What you then have to do, are you seeing the three dots here? All you do is, after it is finished loading, there is a download button which will pop, which will come over here. Yes, like this, now. Notice download here. After I hit download, the video is now being downloaded. So the video is now being downloaded. Where is it being downloaded? You can check. You can check that the video is now being downloaded. All right. If I can minimize these windows, you can check the download status here. Okay. Let me click again. Right. It's taking long because the reason it's taking long is because I am streaming it on Skype, so it's taking much of my data. The data is being directed to streaming, but clearly you just click download there, it downloads automatically. But because there are various windows opening here, so my data is being okay. So are you noticing that the video was being downloaded on the bottom left here? Can someone confirm? It is still being downloaded.
Yes, it's downloading.
It's downloaded. So this is how you can download a YouTube video. You go to your web browser, just say YouTube video downloader online. Why am I saying this? It's because Taku, you mentioned the issue of network. So whilst you are at work, you can still continue with your work whilst the video is being downloaded. So if I was saving my customers on my laptop or on my machine, I will still continue to save my customers the video being downloaded on the background. Then when I'm going home, I just put the video on my flash drive, play it on my car. You know, because this is adult education, we don't have all the time in the world. What I'm giving you are practical tips to navigate through your study terrain in limited time that we have. You just put it there. If you don't have a car, play it at home whilst you are even in the dining. Put a flash if you have got a TV or decoder. Nowadays, there are a lot of things. DVDs which can accommodate a flash there or a TV, whatever. But I know you have something, even your laptop. Put it on your laptop, play the video, even whilst you're in the dining. The bottom line is don't come to the next lecture without finishing stuff for that particular week that we have been discussing. So I'm stopping the download. Reason is because my network is being used for Skype streaming, so it may then affect the quality of that stream. So Feli has just joined us. Make sure, Feli, you play today's video from the beginning. Quite a lot of things that I have said up to the point where you have joined us. And clearly, this is quite an informative phase in our discussion. Now, to-do list for this week, let me log on to my platform. I'm no longer going to give you much this week, for clearly you have 11 hours of videos to play. So this week you'd notice I am to a very large extent moderated. I'm not going to give you much, but you can see we are almost done with the syllabus. The view is we want to wrap up the syllabus by end of October. So let us have mutual understanding of objectives. Mutual understanding of objectives. It's so important. So that when your say is encouraging you to have read or prepared up to, notice how short the syllabus is. We have done strategy here. Actually, it was strategy and leadership. We have done strategy and leadership. So now this week, we just want to do risk and technology and data analytics. Risk, technology, and data analytics. So I'm not going to give you plenty of videos. We are going to do 6 and 7. Notice October has got 4 weeks. We are left with 8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10. So we are left with, say, 3 weeks topics, but we know that 4 weeks is the ideal because you might not have covered the videos that I'm going to send. So I'm not going to overdo it today. Risk, and I'm going to give you only one video of mine, which is it's obtainable on YouTube, and the video is let me see if I can quickly get that video. The way I'm searching for the videos is the same way you search for the videos. All you have to know is to know the YouTuber, and the YouTuber is your say, which is Colin Mpasi. Get the spelling right there. So allow me to get a video for you. This is the area where your say is very helpful now. You don't just pick videos on your own because you don't know which ones are still relevant to your syllabus and which ones are not. Otherwise, you run the risk of reading something which is outdated. So this is most recent, a video on the 22nd of July, still relevant to your syllabus as well. So I'm copying the video. Right. So this video that I'm sending, it covers principally technology and data analytics. You love it like no other. This video it covers section chapter 7. This video supplements chapter 7 on the platform. This video supplements chapter 7 on the platform. Chapter 7 on the platform. Right? So this week let's cover chapters 6 and 7. That is i.e. chapter 6 and 7, which is risk, technology, and data analytics. That is, 6 covers risk, and then 7 covers technology and data analytics. Technology and data analytics. The issue, English, concerning English words. We are accountants here. Okay, having done this, I'm sure I'm largely done for today. So once again, the procedure again, you go to the course notes. Where do you get the course notes? In the study material section here. These are preparatory notes. You get to the preparatory notes. After getting to the preparatory notes, you come to risk on the platform. You play the videos we have populated here. These are very short videos, like 16 minutes, 7 minutes, and 17 minutes. And then we give you relevant technical articles. But you can clearly see that you can't say I am done by merely reading course notes and playing videos for just 40 minutes. These are like videos for 40 minutes. What then do? You now know. You come to the right plane here, where we now have questions on the platform, the application planner. And these questions are as per the chapter. So you can see here, there is, this section takes a risk-based look at task number 2B. Make sure you go through that task, and the same on chapter number 7, you do the same. We have now taken you through how you were supposed to answer those questions in quite a lot. All these questions are again found in the question bank, under the study material section of your platform. Now that you have done, are you not saying, if I were you, this part I just take 2 hours reading course notes, playing these 40-minute videos. You know, these videos are 13 minutes, 7 minutes, 19 minutes, and 10 minutes. And well, on the relevant chapter, this is just 13 minutes and 7 minutes. This other video is 14 minutes, 7 minutes, and 9 minutes, 6 minutes. So the bulk of your work is on the what? Is on the course notes and the study text if you need background information. After you are done with that, you then come to your SES video. This one is a 3-hour video. So after playing this 3-hour video, you can now say, I am done. Let us now meet next week for next week material. On that note, I am ending my discussion here. This is what I wanted us to do. And I must admit, after going through your platform usage, you know, as I was going through your platform usage, I had a mixed outcome, mixed feeling. Some are using platform well, others are not using the platform well because they are simply going through the